Back in our texture editor, I like the lighting on the characters. The gentleman on the back is fine. However, she's in the foreground, and usually you want your main subject to really come out more toward the viewer, and that's often achieved through lighting. So your eye has a tendency to go to where the brightest portion of the scene, which is right along here, and the character should also be brightened up just a little bit more because she's closer to the character. We're going to use what's called a diffuse value. And if you take a look at all of these values in Poser in the texture menu, diffuse represents color, the value is the strength of the color, specular highlight or the specularity that all objects will emanate, whether it's glass or stone or human skin, and each one is associated with a value. Highlight size, ambient color. Ambient color is the bounced color in your scene. We also have the ambient value. Transparency is obviously the transparency of a color, and we can make color or the object itself to be transparent. And we can have transparency in edge, transparency fall off. If you look through here, play with all of these values. Reflections, refraction has to do with glass, how light bounces within glass or translucent objects. Bump mapping, which is texturing, and we're going to cover all of this in my second DVD in texturing in Photoshop. So just play with this right now. But right now, I would like us to focus our attention right here on diffuse value. This is what we're getting with diffuse value. I'm gonna ramp it up a little bit. In fact, let's go to 2.0 just so you can see what's going to happen. Hit 2.0, hit enter on my keyboard, and right there on the bottom is giving you a preview of what's going to happen in the actual scene. And once again, we selected with our eyedropper only her face, so we're texturing only the face map. Your face map is what we call a UV map. It's simple. It's taking the three-dimensional textured surface, stretching it out and flattening it out on a flat surface, so that we can use any of our digital tools like Photoshop to add in the actual texture where we want that texture to be placed on the map. Again, this will be covered in my second DVD on texturing in Photoshop. Now, we made a diffuse value up to 2.0. I'm going to hit a Command R, and this is going to render right here on the left hand side. And what's really nice about the texture editor is it provides the render and the preview and the backdrop all intact, so we can see the effects. Now there it is. Obviously only the face texture has been affected, the body texture has not been affected. If I were to select the body and had given that a diffuse value of 2.0, that too would be brighter. That's too bright. So I'm going to select, and I've played with this already, a 1.05. So this is how accurate Poser is actually. So once I'm going to hit the delete, we're going to hit the point and then 0.5 and hit enter. Okay, automatically you can see your preview on the bottom of your texture palette is darker than the other but brighter than the original. So if I hit Control R once again, we're going to start to get a render. This will come down, it'll be slightly brighter, actually a lot more acceptable than the first, and most definitely acceptable than this brighter render that we have here. So it's almost done. There it is. That's much brighter. Let's go ahead and add a 0.05 to the body. And just before I do that, just notice how the face is just slightly brighter than the skin tone of the face of the gentleman in the back. And I might even decide to just go to 0.07 and hit enter and give that a render just to experiment, because sometimes having it just a little bit brighter is a little bit more appealing. So please experiment with these settings, and it's just about done rendering, and the face should brighten up just a little bit if we kind of keep a good eye on it. And it was very, very subtle, so it was hard to see. Alright, we're in render. Let's go back to preview. This is going to give us back our eyedropper. And let's click right on the body texture. And if I hit the eye here, here is the texture of the body for Allison. And what we're going to do is we're going to access the diffuse value and hit 0.7 just as before, and then go ahead and give it a Command R render. It went back to the other one. So the face and the body should take on a similar tonal value or luminance, and that's going to, there we are. Not bad. I like this much better.